Welcome back to another episode of Front Row Cinema, a movie podcast for movie lovers by movie lovers. I am your host, TJ Trimboli, and with me, as always, my co-host. We've got farmer rapper in the house tonight, Mr. James O'Reilly.
I do, in fact, put Miracle Whip on my Wonder Bread too.
Ooh, man, it's listen, it's called Wonder Bread for a reason. They're always coming up with wondrous inventions to add to it. And that is no different. And each week we take a look at my 1,000 movies I've seen in theaters and we see how well it's aged, along with the hype surrounding the film, its box office analysis, and legacy in the film industry. So if you enjoy this kind of content, hit that sub button on YouTube, leave that 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's how you help the channel grow. Jim, what are we watching tonight?
We're watching the penultimate Scary Movie 3.
Is it the penultimate? Didn't they make a fifth one?
I just mean it was like the peak. Is that not right the right word?
I
The apex of scary movies. Scary
was
Movie
gonna,
3.
I was gonna say because I think the penultimate's like the one before the last one.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. You test me on that. You could pull it up.
Do I not know what that word means? Yeah, next to last. Wow.
Ah,
Look at you, Mr. Knowing English.
look at me. I know words. But
The
yes, we
peak
are
of
watching
Scary
the
Movie Mountain, Scary Movie 3.
yes, we're diving into the apex of scary movie 2003 comedy Scary Movie 3, directed by David Zucker and written by Craig Mazin and Pat Proft and starring Anna Faris, Charlie Sheen, Anthony Anderson and many others. Now we've got the DVD cover here, Jim. We turn our attention to the back here for our lovely log line, and it reads, my God, there's so much on here that does not matter to the thing. Go down, go down. There's I'm because I'm not reading all this where it's like Charlie Sheen, Anna Faris, Eddie Gurr. No, I'm not reading all that. Sorry. Here we go. And it reads, a news anchor woman investigates a killer videotape that's making its way around town, digs into a mysterious crop circle on an ex-priest's farm, and falls in love with a wannabe white rapper. Rapid fire jokes and funny bone chilling suspense are sure signs this outrageous comedy will have you laughing your head off. My God. Sure.
So true.
So true. So true. Um, did you see this in theaters? You didn't come with
Yeah,
us.
definitely I did. Yeah,
You
because
did. You did.
this is another movie like I would have went with my dad and probably at least my sister. My younger brother was probably too young to go see it, but I would have went with my dad and my sister because my dad was like a big fan of like the airplane movies. And
Oh.
like we thought the first two scary movies were silly and funny, so we went and saw this one, and boy were we thrilled. What about you? I'm assuming you saw this with Rob, right?
So no, I didn't go with Rob. I actually went with Charlie to go see this movie. But
Oh.
this the going to see this movie was actually like a core memory in my brain because there is a wild story that goes into going to seeing this movie. So
Oh.
I saw this on Halloween. And this is the era of Halloween when kids are still outside. They're throwing eggs around. They got shaving cream, toilet paper, like back when you were still a Hellraiser on Halloween.
Yeah, yeah.
And so me and Charlie were out, trick or treating and Hellraising around my block. And do you remember the kid Steve? It was a few grades older than us, absolutely insane. The kid that
Yes, I
smashed
know who you're talking
Brian's.
about. Yes, I know
Yeah,
exactly who you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. So obviously we're not naming last names, but to the people at home, this guy once took a kid's face and smashed it repeatedly into the lunch table that we sat at. So to put you in the mind frame,
Allegedly.
so
Allegedly.
I don't think there was anything alleged about it as I watched it happen.
I'm
As
just
I
saying,
watched
if you
him,
put me on a witness stand, I didn't see anything.
I'll tell the truth. I watched
I
that
don't know
kid
what you're
rain.
talking about.
I watched him rain blows upon that kid. So that kid Steve actually lived a few houses down from me. And so we were always in each other's orbit and he never really bothered me or anything. We were always like somewhat amicable to each other. And I remember on this Halloween, me and Charlie are going around and Steve is there and he comes up to us and me and Charlie are like spraying shaving cream on each other and everything, just kids doing kid shit. And he comes up to me and he goes, "Oh, can I join in? Can I spray shaving cream on you?" And I see that he had eggs on him too. And I was like, yeah, you could shaving cream, but like just don't hit me with an egg. And he was like, totally, man, no problem. So, he starts joining in with us, like doing the shaving creaming and everything. And at the last minute, he takes an egg and smashes it on the top of my head. And on instinct, this is after we watched him smash Brian in the face, like in the table too. So this is after we already knew he was crazy.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So allegedly. So he smashes the egg on top of my head, and on instinct, I just slapped the shit out of him. Like wound up as hard as I could and slapped him across the face. And immediately in my head, I'm like, I'm about to die now. Because it was like, I can't not retaliate. Like I told him not to do it. If I let him get away with doing that, like I'm a
Do
bitch for the
you
rest of my life.
do you think he only did it because you told him not to? Like, I feel like I'm getting strong.
Probably.
He only did it because you told him not to vibes.
There's definitely, I mean, I never got the answer from him, but that definitely obviously could have been a factor. But for whatever reason, he did it, and I slapped the shit out of him back without thinking, and immediately braced myself to get the shit kicked out of me. But he didn't beat me. He didn't like throw any punches or anything. Instead, he just started like choking the shit out of me.
Oh
Like, and
my
we're yeah,
God.
yeah, and we're right in the middle of the street. And he's choking the shit out of me, and I do the only thing I could think to do in that moment. I just start choking the shit back at him. So it's just we're just two dudes in the middle of the street, just choking the shit out of each other.
Just choking each
Yeah,
other's,
yeah. Yeah, as homoerotic as that could be at a time. And so Charlie just runs off, like dude just disappears. And I thought he just left, but he actually ran because we were close to my house. So he actually ran back to my house to get Big Rob. And Big Rob comes outside, and Big Rob doesn't even have to say anything because people don't know my dad is a big dude, a big guy. My dad
They
takes a
call
step
him Big
outside.
Rob for a
Yeah,
reason.
we call him Big Rob for a reason. He steps
Broccoli
outside, and
Rob because he
Steve,
eats his vegetables.
yeah, and Steve immediately lets go and just takes off. And so I got away without getting my ass kicked. We just ended
And
up
this is
choking.
before you saw the movie or
Yeah,
after you saw the
no, this is
movie?
before we saw the movie. So like I'm sitting there afterwards, like catching my breath. My dad comes over. He's like, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." Like I'm cool. Like I'm all right. I'm just catching my breath. And he's like, "You need to go to the hospital or anything? Like it looked like you were getting choked out bad." I'm like, "No, no, no. Like me and Charlie are seeing Scary Movie at 5 o'clock. Like I can't go to the
Yeah.
hospital."
No way, bro.
So then,
I
yeah.
mean,
So
I
then we
think you
went.
made the right choice anyway.
Yeah. So then we went and saw Scary Movie 3. And then the next day, because we were on the bus, we were on the same bus going to school. The next day I get on the bus and Steve's on the bus. We both make eye contact and he stands up and stands into the middle of the row so I can't get to my seat. And we're just like eyeing each other. And I'm like, all right, here we go again, man. Like, I'm like, I don't want to get my ass kicked, but like, I'm not going to not fight him back. And then he just puts his hand out and just shakes my hand and then just went on his way. And I was like, dude,
Whoa.
like, what the fuck, bro?
That's like that's like that's like the ending of like a movie, like where like a teen comedy about fighting the bully. It's like
Yeah.
somehow you earned his respect,
Just
so
earned
he
his
just shakes
respect.
your
And I was
hand.
like, dude, I was like, dude, I was like shaking. My fucking knees were shaking. I was like, dude, I did it, man. I was like, I think I
Oh
stalemated the
yeah,
bully, bro.
you did it. You beat
Stalemated the bully.
bullying, and
Yeah. And
on
yeah,
that day, no one was ever bullied
yeah.
again.
That day I never got bullied by him again. But I watched him bully a lot of people and I never did anything about it.
That's fair.
Yep. And then got to see Scary Movie 3 out of it. So that became like a core memory for me. So anytime I've ever watched this movie or gone to it, I've always just remembered that. And I wonder to this day where young Steven is. What's he up to these days?
Yeah, I'm not sure. My time was a lot less eventful. I'm pretty sure we would have got like Slurpees, like maybe some like M&Ms that we
Uh,
snuck in, and that
you're
was
just
really the most like dangerous thing that happened.
meanwhile, I'm getting fucking choked out in the middle of the street. The town bully.
Yeah, a lot less eventful.
Yeah, yeah, much more eventful time for me. Very exciting. So that was my intro into Scary Movie 3. Definitely unlike anybody else's that went and saw this movie, and a decent amount of people went and saw this movie because I'm segueing it in there, Jim. That's what we call a beautiful sequitur right there into our box office mojo right now.
Numbers, dates, and numbers, numbers, dates, array, dates, numbers. Show me the money.
Show me the money. Show me where my $6 went.
Yeah. So, this is an interesting one, man, because the budget for this, we were just talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre last week. The budget for this movie is $48 million. dollars.
Just like where did that had to go to Charlie Sheen's cocaine habit, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean that makes sense. Alleged cocaine habit, by the way. I don't even care if he came on TV and said it. Um,
Jimbo
but
pleads the
yeah, I
fifth
mean,
on
like
all matters.
you kind of mentioned it earlier. Like there's like a lot of like big names like throughout this movie, and they're not necessarily in it for very long, but like like I guess like a guy like George Carlin, like you gotta like give him a pretty good amount of money to show up, right? Maybe he's just doing it for fun. He's not getting paid too much. But there's like
And maybe, I don't
a
know.
hundred people in this, so I feel like
Queen
that kind of
Queen
adds up.
Latifah's off a best supporting nom for Chicago. Like she's
Right,
like,
right. Like she's probably cost you a pretty penny. Charlie Sheen's still a pretty big star. Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy. Like you had to get Pamela Anderson to be made fun of for her sex tape. Like that's gotta cost you at least a little bit, right?
yeah, right. Yeah. Like, hey, we'd like to dig up old wounds for people's like laughter. How do you feel about
Yeah,
a
it's like
50K?
that really private thing that got leaked to the world and the whole world knows about it now because you're Pamela Anderson. Can we like joke about that in this movie? Like, what do you think?
Just crazy. I couldn't imagine being the person that has to pitch that to her.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I would imagine that's where a lot of this budget is coming from, right?
Interesting.
Like that 48 million. Um and it opens the weekend of October 24th to the 26th. This
Great
is
Halloween
definitely
movie.
like we're doing it right on Halloween. We're getting in, we're getting out. Like
Yep.
we're not planning. We're trying to get to DVD as soon as possible, bro. Like
That's where we're gonna make it. We're gonna be a cult classic on the physical media market.
yeah, exactly. But it does open number one. It beats out, like we mentioned last week, the second week of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in second and Radio in third.
Oh
It's
boy.
gonna open with $49.7 million. dollars.
Just like really crazy to think about the power that this franchise holds because a 49 million opening weekend is good enough to put us in the 19th spot behind Too Fast Too Furious is 50.4 but ahead of Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring at 47.2. This movie also beats out the opening weekend of Curse of the Black Pearls 46 and Terminator 3's 44. So like this franchise has opening weekend power right there.
Yeah, but we talked about this in all those episodes too. You're missing like all the ones you just mentioned were 5 day. So like it doesn't really beat like it beats the opening weekend, quote unquote, but like a lot of the business is already gone by the time Friday rolls around.
Still did it, Jim.
I know it's still a big number. 49 million is still a big number for a scary movie though. Don't get me wrong.
It's crazy. It almost made $50 million. Like blockbusters today wish they could have a 50 million opening weekend sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. And then I mean, so we talked a little bit about this weekend with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but we'll move on to weekend two. This is the actual weekend of Halloween, October 31st through November 2nd. Pretty big drop, 57.5%, but it's still pulling in 21.1 million and it's still taking first place.
Oh, so 2 weeks in a row, first place.
Yeah.
Dude, we haven't had a fucking run in ages. I think since Finding Nemo, I think was the last time we had a movie that stayed number one more than 1 week.
Yeah, and I mean it's still a big drop, but it's first place, 21 million. I like there's maybe not that much competition around. Like the top grossing opening weekend is The Human Stain with 1 million.
Whatever that
Good
is.
luck figuring out what that fucking movie is.
What the
And
fuck?
then weekend three, it's gonna be out of first place. It's gonna be all the way down in fourth place.
That
I am gonna guess that one of these is our next episode, and I am
stepping
not
up to
gonna say
plate.
where it is. I will say The Matrix Revolutions is our next episode.
It is not. I never saw it. And the only Matrix movie I saw in theaters was the one that came out in 2020.
Wow, is our next episode Elf?
It is not.
Well, okay, cool. So Scary Movie drops down to fourth with 11.1 million, behind Matrix Revolutions in first with 48.5,
Mm.
and Elf in second with 32.1. And those are both opening weekends.
Yeah, that's too. I guess it makes more sense because you don't know how big of a movie. Like it's in hindsight, Elf is such like a beloved classic that you would be like, wow, it's crazy they put it out the same week as the Matrix Revolutions. But back then, like John Farver untested, like Will Ferrell untested.
Right.
That's
And this
something you're
is
just dumping, hoping for the holiday blitz.
right, right. And I mean, Matrix is obviously a big movie. It makes sense that Scary Movie drops down when these movies come out. We're getting
Oh yeah,
into like more
absolutely,
serious time at this point,
absolutely. And
right?
I will say to you, Jim,
Um,
we will be doing Elf. It's just not our next movie.
okay. Dark Horse holiday thing for our next movie, all the way down in sixth place, opening weekend of Love Actually.
Yeah, Jim, you've seen the kind of movies I'm seeing. You think I went and saw Love Actually in
I don't
theaters?
know. It's like a Christmas movie. I could see you going with like your mom or something. Although some parts of this are pretty racy.
And no, I did not see Love Actually in theaters.
All right, so then I didn't find it.
Swing and a miss.
Weekend four of Scary Movie 3, it's down in seventh place with 6.1 million. It's a 45% drop. But it's like kind of like what we were saying with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're now in like mid-November and like the whole scary movie season is over. We're getting around to the holidays. Like, of course it's falling.
We're done with it.
So then we'll just go through the like till it falls out of the top 10. Weekend five, it's in ninth, 3.3 million. And weekend six, it's down in 15th. This is the Thanksgiving Day weekend.
Ooh,
It's down
so
in 15th place with 1.1 million.
didn't make it. So it's hanging around in 5 weeks. That's the average that we've got here for many movies. It actually 5 weeks. The first Scary Movie actually also only hung around for 5 weeks, so it matched the original in the series. So good on you, Scary Movie 3.
And then we'll just do some totals here.
Okay,
Domestic, it pulled in 110.
crazy.
International, it pulled in 110.7
Also crazy.
for a worldwide total of 220.7.
Crazy. 220 million for Scary Movie 3. Gonna put us in the 32 spot behind American Weddings 231 and ahead of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is 177. But not enough. Trying to find here where the original. Oh, there it is. So not enough to topple Scary Movie's 278, the first one. So just behind, just on the outside. But hey, 220 off of a 48 million budget, still a win. And we'd still have to
Yeah, no, I
suffer
mean
two more of
it's a
these
that's successful, and it's like this is like you said earlier, like this is a movie that's gonna kill it on the
home video
home video
market.
market, like because it's the kind of movie where if you like it, there's like no way you're not buying this DVD. Like the rewatch value is so high if you're into this kind of movie.
And this deep into the franchise, like you're in or out at this point. Like if you're in on Scary Movie, like you're buying it. You need the you got the box set.
Yeah, I am curious though, like what did like critics think of this movie? I'm not sure. Like, is there a Roger Ebert sighting anywhere?
Not very well. There is a Roger Ebert sighting, but we'll save him for when we get to our ratings. But the critics, 35% on this bad boy, which is about what I expected. The audience a bit higher, sitting at 54. A 5.6 IMDb though. That's definitely on the lower end for a lot of movies that we've seen, and might have one of the lowest cinema scores that we've seen so far, with a simple B.
A B?
Yep.
Oh
A,
my God,
yeah.
that's like the cinema score equivalent of like a death sentence.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah. That's just ooh, a B is not good. That is a death sentence right there. And then we got some user reviews. Uh, so we got this first person up here. Definitely not a fan of this movie whatsoever. He writes, "Don't see this stupid movie. The cast, horrible. The biggest worst casting ever, Ja Rule as a Secret Service agent. He seemed vacant and lost, as if he couldn't remember his lines." Like, I mean, it's Ja Rule and Scary Movie 3. I don't know what you were expecting. "My friends and I were constantly checking our watches and hoping this movie would end. The fact that anyone liked this crap scares me. It represents the overall degradation of the intelligence of our species."
it's
Look,
wait,
really,
read that last line
really,
again.
really sold it at the end. So his last thing goes, "The fact that anyone liked this crap scares me. It represents the overall degradation of the intelligence of our species."
Well, First of all, I take that personally because I really like this movie, and maybe it's because I'm stupid, but you don't gotta say it.
Like what I love the most about these like 1 star and 10 star reviews is that they very rarely stick to what doesn't work for them about the movie. They always have to resort to some type of like insane clause that has nothing to do with the movie that like just insults people that either enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it. Because it's like on
Right,
the one
right.
star, it's like if you enjoyed this, you're an idiot. And on the 10 star, it's like if you didn't enjoy this, you don't understand it. It's
Right,
like
right. It's like people can't just let their opinions be opinions. They have to be like like they have to be like absolute truth, and anybody who doesn't agree with them are like lost
because
souls.
they're like so they attach themselves so much to this property that they either liked or disliked to such a point that it's like I can't understand why you would find enjoyment in this or why you wouldn't enjoy this.
Yeah, and I mean like I enjoy it, but I definitely understand why somebody would think it's dumb as shit because it is dumb. Like
Like I would never take it personally if somebody said they didn't like a movie I liked or like didn't like or like the movie that I didn't like. It's like, ah, yeah, that's fine with me. Like,
except
no,
Speed
you're an
Racer.
idiot.
If you don't like Speed Racer, I want nothing to do with you, and you're a moron.
Then we got one
That's,
more 1 star
that's
person here.
I don't know if I really feel that way, but it's like I want to feel that way.
You want to feel that way. I get your emotion and intelligence are just clashing right there, and you're in a battle of whims to see who will come out on top on Speed Racer.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to be that nuanced. If you don't like Speed Racer, you're a moron.
We got one other 1 star here. This movie has to be the worst movie of all time. Anyone who took part in the makings of this movie should be banished to the moon. And I hope they know this because the very sight of them makes me want to vomit. He spelled vomit wrong.
I'm sure that's what he means, yeah.
Please do me and yourselves a favor and don't watch this movie and gain some common sense instead. Like,
What,
amazing.
what a banished to the
The
moon is
moon.
such a silly like why is that the punishment? Do they
Like,
get like a little like space station to hang out on, or are we just like leaving
I,
them there to die? Like
I
I don't
dislike
understand.
this movie so much. You should be banished to the moon.
Like, do they at least get like a helmet? Or are they like
Oh,
dying on impact when we banish them to the moon? I want to know more.
okay. So this so we switch it over to our 10 stars right now. And I like this person's one a lot. So she goes, this movie was done without the Waynes. Thank you, God. Instead, David Zucker. You might know him as the co-writer slash director of Airplane, Top Secret, and The Three
Wait,
Naked
hold
Guns.
on.
Yes.
Did she write the thank you God, or was that
Yes.
you
No, no, no. She wrote
editorializing?
she
Okay.
she wrote in parentheses, thank you, God.
Okay.
That was not me. I wasn't color commentating. Yes, she goes, you might know him as the co-writer director of Airplane, Top Secret, and The Three Naked Guns. If you liked those, then this is no exception. Only David can make a spoof, no one else. If you haven't seen it, go see it now. There's a 6:45 show at the theater around the block.
What? That's that's so funny. All right, that is an old person who doesn't quite know how the internet works.
Like, I can't even see where you live, lady. Like, how am I supposed to make that show?
Yeah, no, dude, she's only talking to like her neighbors on there. It's like this is like before
She thinks
these
she's
are
on
the
like a
people
Google
who when they
Yelp.
realized how big the internet was, they just instead created like Facebook moms groups for people in their neighborhood. They were like,
Oh
the
my
internet's
God.
too big. I need it to be way more local. Like,
Amazing. And then we have one last 10 star here. This person, I got no words for this person. They wrote, this was by far the best scary movie yet. I would definitely recommend this to everyone, even those of you who don't like any of the scary movies. Here, let me give you a part of the beginning just to prove to you that you should go. Now, this part is making fun of The Ring. Spoilers. There are two Catholic girls from The Ring, except they are played by Pam Anderson and Jenny McCarthy. Pam, did you know that there are some many electromagnetic waves going through the air right now that we are losing twice as many brain cells as we are supposed to? Jenny, the cow goes blank, 3 letters. Pam, dude, Jenny, oh yeah, dude, Pam. You know what else I heard? Electromagnetic waves shrink silicon molecules. Pam and Jenny, ah, Now, you cannot be a sane person with even the slightest sense of humor and tell me that that is not funny, but I wouldn't believe you. 10 out of 10. Sir, sir,
Like, I
please
don't think
never
any movie
explain why
scene is
something's
so
funny
funny that
ever.
you can write it in a comment and it'll still be funny. Like, I don't think that that's possible.
Like, that dude really thought that was going to work.
If you
And
don't think that's funny, I don't believe you.
the audacity of this man. Like, my God. Just great. 10 out of 10 reviews. So now I'll turn it over to you, Jim. And do you have anything that can match how that guy pitched this movie?
No, I mean, I was just gonna read like different scenes line for line, but now I feel like we kind of stole my thunder a little bit.
Yeah, he really stole
Um,
that right from under you.
no, I mean, like, I don't know if I agree with exactly the way they said it, where like only David Zucker could make a spoof movie in that one review, but like he definitely makes like the best spoof movies. So the fact that he's making it, I feel like it's the best of the scary movies, and it's really funny. Like it's really goofy and funny, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, I bit of an existential crisis on this one, Jim,
Oh no.
where I agree with you that I still do think this is the best of the scary movies. Um, but I don't know, man. I still found all of the things that we used to comment and the lines that we would regurgitate ad nauseum throughout high school. I still found all of that funny.
Yeah.
But a lot of the middle stuff and stuff in between those jokes really, really killed me.
Interesting.
And
Like which parts?
so the opening scene was atrocious and really made me feel like I was like, oh no, did I really just have like rose colored goggles on this movie this entire time? Like, is this going to be torture? Like, because it's brutal. It's all predicated on just they're dumb blondes, and it's like yeah, but it's just not funny. The only thing that I chuckled at in that whole opening scene was when she answers the phone and it's like I'm coming for you, precious, and she's like. Hi,
Yeah.
mom. And she's like, hi, precious. Like, are you having fun? Like, that was the only thing that got me. And because that speaks to the kind of like jokes that we find funny in these type of spoof movies, is those like from left field absurdist comedy. That works a lot better for me than the really like just dumb, dumbed down, hey, this person's stupid kind of jokes. Like the common denominator joke that I really because another one that killed me is when Cindy's walking with the newscaster, her boss, and she's just like, and he's like, and twins. And it like
Yeah.
cuts into that thing from like that era, like that beer commercial. And I was like, dude, I fucking hate this, man. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the when it broke into the beer commercial, I thought it was pretty funny because it's like it's because she's trying to do hard-hitting stories and they're like, "No, it's sweeps week. You got to talk about strippers." Like it's and like so it just really like was the perfect cap off to that where like that's like a real commercial that was happening at the time where they were like, "I like beer and football and tweens."
dude, you
So I
remember
don't know. I still think it was funny.
what a fever dream of a time that era was. That was a
Yeah.
commercial.
Right, like that was like they like society did that scene, but unironically. Like that's like what
Like that
happened.
was a song that people bumped
Yeah.
and like
Which
actually enjoyed it.
yeah, so I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny where like the even the newscasters were like getting into the and tweens kind of stuff and then like they're all just like partying and drinking like out of nowhere. I got a kick out of it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I don't know. There was just a lot of those moments that kill me. But the stuff that does hit still hits really hard. And for me, like I said, it's a lot of the absurdist stuff. So one of the things that made me laugh, there's two jokes in this that made me laugh harder than anything. And one of them is just a visual gag. The
Yeah.
scene where Charlie Sheen is first talking to the sheriff, and every
Yes.
time it cuts to her and her hat just keeps getting
Yeah,
bigger.
her hat's just like a little bigger each
Yeah.
time, and then she like can't even get in the
Can't
car
even
at
get into
the
the
end.
car. It kills me every time. Like that joke is so funny because it's just so silly.
Yeah,
It
it doesn't make any sense,
yeah,
and they don't acknowledge it at all. It's
yeah,
just
which makes
something
it
that
yeah,
happens, and it's
yeah,
hilarious.
which
Yeah.
makes it even better. And then the second one that gets me is when Charlie Sheen is going to say goodbye to his wife, and he passes the drunk driver, and he just goes, "Tom, I'll need a ride home."
Yeah. It's, it's a really great line. Yeah, it's a really funny line.
It's
He's just
so
gonna
good.
hop in the car with him.
Yeah, and
I
I
like
love that
too.
because that
I
brings me
like too
back
the
into the
scene later
scene.
when Tom shows up and he's
Yeah,
like, if I hadn't been drunk driving for those exact 20 minutes, I
it's
never would have hit your wife, and then who knows what would have happened, Like,
no. He goes like, if I hadn't been swerving or if I hadn't been drinking, and he's like, what does that have to do with Annie? And he goes, you're right. Those were other nights.
yeah, that was good, yeah. Um, but no, it's like it had a lot of those like one-liners that are like famous from like airplane. Like they're not like I mean, maybe not as like catchy or clever as the ones from Airplane, but they're still so funny to me.
Yeah, no, and they are hilarious, and there's plenty of those moments that still have those really classic one-liners that really get me. It just had a lot more of like others jokes that don't land for me. That like those in between moments dragged a lot more for me this time than they did last time. Like and a joke that I remember always finding funny when I was a kid that I didn't find as funny this time was when he first pulls up to find out that his wife is dead, and they keep explaining it with the food. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah, this
yeah, yeah,
doesn't do
yeah.
anything for me now.
Well, it's interesting because like I mean, we talked about David Zucker, and I think we talked about this in the first Scary Movie episode, that Harvey Weinstein is the producer of these movies.
uh,
So I feel like it kind of like I get what you're saying. Like it goes from being like clever and silly to like tasteless at a few points. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, and I
Or
think
just
that
like
probably has Weinstein's fingers all
fingers
over it,
on
you
it, yeah.
know?
Or just other ones also where it's like beating a dead horse because it's like you could do one of them, but then it keeps going. But with like the
Yeah,
food
yeah.
thing, like one or two is fine, but then it just keeps going on, and it's like,
Yeah,
all
I
right, it's
mean,
like, all
so
right, you lost me.
I definitely get what you're saying, and I definitely like the sight gags a lot more. Like there's one right from the jump, there's like a couple that are so funny where like he's like taking a leak, like just like they do in the beginning of Signs when he's like getting ready in the morning, but he's just like doing his like morning pee, and when he keeps like backing up, he keeps
Yeah,
like backing up, and you just hear the trickle stop, and then he goes back and it starts again. That gets me, and then when they're like who knows what it means, and they zoom out and it's just a big arrow and it says attack here. Like,
yeah, no,
that gets me every time, dude.
there's still plenty in here that does work for me. I was just surprised to find that there was a lot more in there than I thought that didn't work for me.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
interesting.
kind of like made me
Well,
have
like
like a little bit of
what other parts specifically? Are they all like kind of like when it gets like too like um I don't know if risque is the right word, but like I don't know. What are some of the other
I
parts?
think it's more like that. Like it's funny that to me, all the jokes that really work for me in this one and make me laugh are just like the really childish, silly ones. And whenever they
Yeah,
try to do more of the like sexualized, modern like jokes and stuff, I just really
right.
like I don't care as much. And I
Right.
wonder
They're
if
not
that's
as
just
funny. They're
yeah,
not
yeah,
as
they're not as
funny.
funny. Like,
And
and
I don't
I
even know if I
find
thought they were that funny back then either.
yeah, like I find the absurdist humor a lot funnier. Like case in point, the funeral scene when they're inside and he's a moron and just like mishears her and starts like giving her I hated that. It didn't do anything for me.
Oh,
But
really?
but when they throw him out the window every time and they do the as soon as he drops he's back up like in a split,
Right, right. It's
that
like
gets
nothing
me.
happened and he
Yeah,
just bounces right back.
yeah.
Yeah.
That gets me every time. That is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, see, like, I kind of like the funeral scene, mostly because I think Anthony Anderson and Kevin Hart are like geniuses in this movie.
Yeah, Kevin
Like,
Hart is really funny in this movie.
he's really funny, but just the way Anthony
The-
Anderson comes in, like they've already both been established as like total morons, you know what I mean? So he just runs in and makes the thing like 100 times worse in 1 second and just starts punching everybody in the face. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, it just cracks me up. Like I think it's a good joke. Like it's definitely like I could see where it's like kind of like cringe a little bit maybe, but I don't know. For me, it just cracks me up. And
I
it's
think,
mostly
I
because
think,
it's like Anthony Anderson doing it. Like he
yeah,
really
that's
sells it,
fair.
you know?
I think it's another thing in regards to like the same thing with the food where it's like it just goes on too long and brings itself up to such a like ridiculous because like it's one thing if they get on and they're doing it, but then like it goes to the point where she literally explodes and it's going everywhere. And I'm like, all right, this really doesn't do anything for
Yeah, there's one part of that scene in particular that absolutely kills me too. When he's like, Susie, your teacher's alive, and the little girl's like, Yay! She
me.
starts clapping and she's all excited in the middle of it. It's so good.
They're like,
Oh
you're
man.
dead. And then she's like, ah. I
But no,
will
yeah, and
say,
then he's like doing like the jumper cables on her. Like I get what you're
yeah,
saying. Like it goes a
yeah,
little bit like it's like not
long
as
in the
silly
tooth.
anymore. Although
Yeah.
I don't know, that part's kind of silly, dude.
No, it is silly. It's silly. And listen, I'm not taking anything away from someone who does find it funny. It was interesting this time to like not get as much enjoyment out of those scenes
Yeah,
as like
yeah.
I thought I did as a kid. There was one risque moment in this that did make me chuckle. And it is the absolutely insane moment when she has Father Muldoon come over to watch Cody. You just hear Cody's steps as he races to the bedroom.
Yeah, yeah,
And
like he
he's
like runs away, yeah.
yeah. And then you just hear Father Muldoon like perk up when she's like, he's got a little rash, so he'll need a bath. And he's like,
Yeah, no,
like,
he doesn't need a bath. She gives him like an ointment.
yeah,
Like he's supposed to he's
yeah.
like so into it.
That's just
I
like so insane that moment that I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, yeah. I mean yeah, but it was like the time, you know? Like that was when
Yeah.
that shit was really like prevalent, you know?
Yeah. So like that
But
one still hit hard for me, made me laugh. One that I feel and like there, I feel like there's very like we talked a bunch in Scary Movie about there being a lot of jokes that don't age well. I don't feel like that there's really any of that in this, other than the one scene where the kid is, you know, pointing out like what's going to happen to people at the funeral, and the one dude
yeah,
comes
I
out and
know
he's like, "You're
exactly
going to
what you're
get
gonna say.
lucky," and then the girl comes out behind him, she's like, "He doesn't know you're a dude," and it's like, "Oh, come on, like why?"
Yeah, definitely not so PC.
Like
Definitely.
why do we have to do that one?
But
But I do
I'm
one,
interested off of what you just said though, a
yeah,
couple of things. Was
yeah.
the scene when 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 the farmer rapper goes to watch the kid, did that hit for you as hard? When he's like, I'm great with kids, and he's like, hey Cody, and he like pelts him in the
Yeah,
face with the basketball.
yeah, yeah. No, that one was fun
Like
for me
was
because
that
that's
getting on the verge of
it
like
was
too over the top and too far or
so like it did get right there. Like when he like hit the fan and got shoved out the window,
yeah.
it's like I still laugh, but it was one where it was veering towards like if they kept going, I was gonna get there. But they leveled that one just enough that I was like, okay. And then
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
love when she comes home and freaking and what's his name, the rapper is just like, I don't know, I just looked down and like knocks
Yahtzee.
himself out cold.
Yeah.
Like that gets
So
me.
great.
One thing I will say for this movie that it does very well is the way they spoof the actual Ring videotape.
Yeah, yeah. When
Like,
it's just the guy like staring at the chair and then he's like
yeah,
spinning in the
yeah, then he
chair.
spins on it and then he's throwing up. Like they do such a good job of making that still look disturbing, but like funny disturbing.
Yeah.
Like when it shows the ring and then it's the guy just getting off the toilet.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
So great.
I died. So I was like, I think they did a really good job with that. And this, I feel like, is one of the last spoof movies we got that did a good job at actually taking, you know, three movies that they wanted to spoof and weaving an actual plot out of them. Because a lot you see
Yeah.
forward after that is it's just like, we're just going to take a bunch of pop culture references. We're going to take a bunch of movies. There's no point to it. It's just references. Whereas, like, there's at least still somewhat of a plot to this that kind of melds The Ring, Signs, and 8 Mile together in like a way that, like, still kind of feels organic, so
Yeah.
I could appreciate them for doing that. And I the 8 Mile scene for this one is so funny still to this day.
Yeah.
Every second from when he's in the bathroom and he throws up on the dude in the toilet to when they throw him out the window because he has the fucking hood on that makes him look like a KKK member.
Yeah, it's so silly. And the fact that he like goes up against Fat
Fat
Joe
Joe. Yeah,
and
it was so good. Something that cracked me up a bunch that was like so small too was just all the nicknames that Anthony Anderson kept giving Fat Joe. Like, and
yeah.
Fat Joe would just be behind him like blah blah. Like, I would fucking die.
Yeah, that part was great. Um, everything. I definitely never say this guy's name right. Leslie Nielsen, is that his name?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen. Everything with him is fucking hilarious,
yeah.
like
He's so
as
good,
usual.
and I
And
still think one of the yeah.
there's
Go on.
one joke there that's like kind of on the line of like didn't age well, but I think it works because it's when he's like making the speech and he goes, and to like our Native
Oh
American like
yeah,
delegation,
and
and then
he's like,
he's
"Hey,
like,
how are ya?
hey,
Hey,
how
how?"
are ya? Hey, how are ya? It's like, it's so ridiculous. And like, it's definitely like offensive, but like, the whole joke is that he's offensive. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it works because it's not like the Native Americans are over there like smoking a peace pipe and like going, oh, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it's like they're
yeah,
like just normal people. Like what the fuck is this guy's
yeah.
problem? You know
The
what I
joke
mean?
is more
Like
that he's a moron than it is that
right,
they're yeah,
exactly. It's that he's an idiot and has
yeah,
no idea how to operate as the president of the United States is the joke.
yeah.
But just the way he does it is so
He's
good.
so
Hey,
good.
how are
Hey,
you? Hey, how are you?
and that has another one of my favorite visual gags where it's like, I wonder what President Ford would do at a time like this, and it's Harrison
Yeah,
Ford. Like,
yeah.
so good.
Oh man. And then they start freaking out about like the all the people in the room and it just devolves into chaos. Like I mean, so yeah, I kind of get what you're saying now cuz like there's scenes that go to that like point of chaos and like go over the top, but they're not nearly as
Funny.
like well no, they're not like some of them are funny, but they're not nearly as not funny as some of the ones you were pointing out earlier. Like sometimes they miss in this movie when they do it. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, they miss a bunch. Like, and like this, like when he actually talks to his wife and it's Denise Richards, and like they just do the like no sex thing. I'm like, this joke doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of lame, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, but like I get it. Like, spoof movies are hard, and I'd rather them throw jokes a mile a minute so that it's like, all right, like you like this one, next one maybe doesn't hit for you, but there's another one around the corner that you'll dig.
Yeah. Dude,
So like,
Jeremy Piven is so great in
yeah,
this
dude,
movie,
I had
by the way.
forgotten that Jeremy Piven was in this.
Yeah.
When he's doing it
Those
like
are
shiz a god,
those are the scenes that made me laugh the hardest was when he was it's those videos when he's like around the world, like videos are coming
yeah.
in of the alien invaders. Like those videos they cut to get me every time, dude.
But I love when it just cuts back to him and he's just like disturbing stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, we're gonna go to Mexico City, and it's just like a horse like shitting
Yeah.
uncontrollably. And then the way the aliens walk through the frame, it's just so funny. Like their arms are like flailing really heavy, and like, oh, it just gets me, man.
Yeah, no,
Like they're
that
so like the joke in Signs is that they're like very nondescript in a lot of the videos, right?
yeah.
So like in this, like they're just so plain and there's nothing spooky about them. They just like for no reason like walk through the frame like a goofball. It just gets me every time, dude.
Yeah, I love that. Another, comeback joke here that you saw in the first scary movie is referencing the Matrix again.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and I find that scene very funny too when they go to meet Queen Latifah and Eddie Griffin just comes in like watch the game, watching the game, baby.
Yeah. The
The
Lakers will
Lakers will
win
win
by
by 12.
12.
I get shit about women I ain't even slept with yet.
Yeah, no, I like that part too. By the way, when was the last time we had a Star Wars reference?
Dude, I was just gonna say, I don't. Oh yeah, that's right. You got one on the
Because
Matrix.
I think
Fuck,
I'm like I think
I,
I'm like well in the lead at this point.
I queued you up on that one to get that.
Oh no,
Uh,
believe me, I was gonna say it. I was
you
gonna bring
had
it
it.
up. I had
Hold
it.
on, we gotta see it. Yeah, you're gonna take the lead now here with Scary Movie 3. We were tied at 3 apiece, and now you're taking the lead. So you've got Shrek, Kung Pao, Scary Movie, and Scary Movie 3, and I've got Armageddon, Just Married, and Black Knight.
Okay.
All right, yes, you're taking the lead right there.
I'm gonna take a commanding lead, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, all right, we'll see about that.
Do
Uh,
the Star Wars sequels and prequels count as references?
no, I won't be that petty.
Okay, good.
But yeah, that scene was very funny where they fight the chick in the tape. I laughed a lot at that, and then I laughed at the other Matrix reference with George Carlin when he's like, "You could stay over. Linda's built for two," and she vibrates.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
I
like
just love
that stuff all hits.
I love like my wife thought we should drown her in a well.
Yeah,
I thought a simple timeout would have sufficed.
yeah.
It's
See,
like
like
the
it's
jokes
jokes
we
like
have
that
every
that make
time.
me laugh the most. Like when he's like,
Yeah.
she's like she was evil, like killed the horses, like hid the remote,
Hit
real
the
sick shit,
remote.
real
Yeah.
sick shit.
Yeah. Oh man. Or
Like
like
that
he's
stuff.
got like the cameras and Anna Faris. It's like her like brushing her teeth and
Teeth,
like
yeah.
flossing and stuff.
And he's got it at a spot where it's like it would be impossible for you not to notice the camera too, which makes it so
Right,
much
right. It's
funnier.
like
Like it's like
so
right in her
obvious. Yeah.
face.
So
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
it's
don't really know like we could hash like the different jokes we like all day, but
yeah,
like
all
I don't
day.
know how much longer we want to do that. People could
Yeah,
just go
no,
watch the movie, you
no,
know?
yeah. You could just go, and I still would recommend this movie. Like I don't want you to feel that my existential crisis makes me feel that I don't like this movie anymore. I still really enjoyed it. It was just an interesting this time to go to it and be like, oh crap, like I don't have that like follow through love for it like I did back when
Yeah,
we used to
which
watch it.
I mean it makes sense. Like you're a bit older now. It makes sense that your sense of humor is like matured a little bit, you
A
know?
little bit more. I don't know if I'd say matured as much as it is.
A little bit, I think.
Maybe just yeah, just a
I
smidge.
think that's at the heart of some of the things you're saying here. I'm just saying.
Yeah, sure. My humor has shifted on the types of things that I find funny, and that's all I got to say about that. You got anything else to add?
Nah, not really.
All right, then we'll turn our attention over to our next segment. Is I'm curious to see what kind of awards love Scary Movie 3 was able to conjure up.
Yeah, so not much,
Yeah, it doesn't shock
honestly.
me.
Let
Does-
me
not as high as the 17 award nominations for Texas Chainsaw last week.
No, not quite that high.
It's a watershed moment right there.
It's she got okay. So there is a couple of good ones here though.
Okay.
It also won a film music award. I'm starting to get a little suspicious about these film music
But
awards.
what
I'm
the
starting
like?
to
What
wonder.
music would
It just
just
says
says
BMI Film Music Award. That's all it
these guys
says.
again for like what the
But it's like,
soundtrack? There's
okay,
like
hold on. We're on to something
like
here.
what was it for the little bit of Tupac we heard in J Rules?
I don't know that they like this is okay. So yeah, it's like BMI is a music company because it's like some of the other awards here are like most performed song from a film. You know what I mean? Like
Most performed.
for
It's
the
like yeah,
song
sure.
Midnight Time from Lara Croft Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life. So it definitely is just like some
Fuck,
contemporary song. You know what I mean?
fuck off with that. That's hilarious.
Um, but there's like
Oh,
20
so
winners here, like
do you
for
think
this
they
one.
won
It
it?
just
Do you
like
think they won it for the
BMI
rap?
Film Music Award. It doesn't like mean anything as far as I can tell.
Gotcha.
Like Anger Management with Adam Sandler won
Oh,
one. I don't
Jesus
really know.
Christ.
Like it wasn't like they were competing against each other
Yeah,
though. It's like
each other.
everybody
It's just
won.
like they're just recognizing some hits.
Right.
They were recognizing the Farmer Rappers song.
This is one I don't know if we've talked about these ones before. The
Okay.
2004 Kids Choice Awards.
Oh boy, this was nominated for a Kids' Choice Award.
Yeah, for favorite movie actress.
No, Denise Richards,
Not Denise Richards, no.
Anna Faris.
No.
Fuck out of here. Then for what? Like
Oh,
Pamela Anderson or Jenny McCarthy?
no, no, it's a Kid Choice Award, dude. You think they give it to Pamela Anderson or Jenny McCarthy?
So what? They give it to one of the
Uh,
kids?
Queen Latifah
Oh, fuck off.
was nominated against Halle Berry from X2, Cameron Diaz from Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. The eventual winner, Amanda Bynes for What a Girl Wants.
There we go. Big Rob will love to hear that.
Does he like that movie?
Oh, dude, he loves that movie.
That's true. That is a good rom-com. Uh, it's also it won Scary Movie 3 won an MTV Movie Award. Do you want to take a guess at what MTV Movie Award it won?
Scary Movie 3 one.
Yeah.
There's no best comedy one, right?
Nope. I
Okay.
will say it's for a specific person that wins. It's not like a general one. That's your hint.
For a specific person. It's the rapper.
He didn't win, but you're on the right track for the category.
Oh my God. I don't know. What is it?
It's best cameo.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Do you want to take
What's
a guess at who won it now?
who wins for best cameo? Okay, let's see. Did I give it to Queen Latifah again?
No, no.
Oh, interesting.
It's her. I
Simon
would say
Cowell.
Queen Latifah had more of a part compared to the person who wins this. Like this is like a celebrity like cameo for sure.
Simon Cowell.
Yes, Simon Cowell wins for best cameo.
Place is totally pathetic.
He beat out Pink from Charlie's Angels Full Throttle and Matt Damon from Eurotrip and a couple other people. Oh, John McEnroe
Not,
from Anger Management.
dude. Matt Damon from Eurotrip doesn't win. Like that's like the cameo of all cameos.
Yeah, or John McEnroe from Anger Management.
Yeah,
John McEnroe was great in Anger Management.
hilarious.
And then finally, it's also a nominee for choice movie your parents didn't want you to see. We talked about that a bunch of times.
Like I don't think it could be nominated for that if it was also nominated for Kids Choice Awards. Like, what are we doing here?
I
Like,
mean, yeah, you're not wrong. You're making a good case.
what are we doing here?
So, okay. We really love great category names, right?
We do. I'm all for great category names.
And I think we've talked about this award show before, the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards.
Oh boy.
It's nominated at the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards
Okay.
for Worst Screenplay for a film grossing more than $100 million using Hollywood math.
That's so specific. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
like
What does
why
that even mean?
why be that specific?
Yeah, which, and you know, when I see a category name like that, I need to go investigate and see what
Need
else
to know what
was
else.
nominated. I do see a
Wah,
category for
wah.
worst screenplay, which Date Movie ends up winning.
Good.
So that's like a nice little consolation prize. And then I thought for a
Those
second I
movies are
was
like
maybe in
2 years
the wrong
apart.
year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So hold on,
What's the
maybe I
fucking
just messed up
cutoff
here.
criteria?
Maybe I just messed up here. Hold on, let's see what's going on.
He's lost in the sauce, people.
I might have misclicked. I might have had a little bit of a mishap here. All right, yeah, I was on the wrong year. I apologize.
Oh, this guy.
Just cut that part out. Cut that part out. Cut that part out. Yeah, so it is a category. Worst screenplay for a film grossing more than $100 million using Hollywood math.
So specific.
Uh, it's just a bunch of bad movies. There's no real like I can't imagine. I guess it's just that they grossed $100 million, but I guess they're saying maybe they didn't with the Hollywood math thing. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle's in here, Legally Blonde 2, Matrix Revolutions slash Reloaded. It's like for both of them, I guess.
It's
The
real
Cat
kick
in
in
the
the teeth.
Hat is the eventual winner.
Yeah, it is.
Cat in the Hat, baby.
Oh
And
boy.
then it's also nominated at the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards for most painfully unfunny comedy,
Jeez.
which I am interested to see. I think you should go back and rewatch this movie and see
Please.
if you would agree, because the ultimate winner of that is Boat Trip.
That's a movie that we laughed a lot at as kids, and I could honestly seeing it being terrible to watch now as an adult.
Yep. I was thinking, based upon what you were saying in this episode, I think you might be onto something there. I think
I,
you are hitting the nail right on the head.
I remember one joke in that we quoted a lot that would probably still make me chuckle just for the nostalgia factor, but I imagine that movie is probably terribly offensive.
Yeah, I would bet. Yeah, and I mean, so that go back and report back to me. Let me know what
Oh,
you
yeah, I'll get
think.
right on that.
Uh, and then I guess we can talk really briefly here about David Zucker because it's like I don't know that he's going to come up again,
No, I don't. This was probably our one and only opportunity to touch upon him.
and he really is like the king of spoof movies, right?
And
So
has made a lot of stuff that we love.
Yeah, so we'll go through his a bit of his writing credits. Kentucky Fried Movie is like the big one. That's like the big first one, right?
Actually, I've never seen that.
Me neither, actually. He got a written by credit on that in 1977. Airplane in 1980, he writes and
Goat,
directs. What?
absolutely. The goat airplane.
Yeah. He creates the TV series Police Squad and gets a directing credit on one episode, which eventually is going to turn into the Three Naked Gun movies coming up later. 1984, he makes the movie Top Secret,
Another
written and
another
directed
classic.
by. Um, he directs the movie Ruthless People.
Never seen it.
I'm not sure what that is. It must
I've
be a
heard about
comedy.
it. It's with Danny DeVito and Bette Midler, and I don't know anything about it, but like I've heard about it, and that people have always said like it's a really funny like black comedy, but I've never gotten an opportunity to watch it.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's more of a straightforward movie. It's less of a
Yeah, like
spoof movie.
it's less a spoof and more just like a comedy.
Yeah, a couple cheated by a vile businessman kidnaps his wife in retaliation, not knowing that their enemy is delighted that they did. So it's really just the like take my wife joke made into a movie,
Made
which
into a
I don't
whole
know.
movie.
I'm not sure how I feel
Yeah,
about
we'll
that.
see how much mileage that truthfully gets out of it. Hold on, the
Yeah,
real
yeah.
question: what's the runtime? 94 minutes.
Uh,
All right,
what is it? 91 minutes?
94 minutes.
That's it seems like probably like 15 minutes too many. um, then 1988 and 1991, he makes the first two Naked Gun movies, which to this day still might be the two funniest movies like ever made. Like the first one is
The
like
first one
the funniest
especially,
movie
yeah. The
ever.
first
It's
Naked
so
Gun
funny.
is an absolute classic.
Yeah, it's I like just an all-time classic from like Enrico Palazzo.
Everything
It's-
about it's so good.
it's maybe one of the funniest movie like sequences of all time where he like ends up taking over being the umpire
Yeah,
and
it's
he's like trying to make the game last because when it gets to the seventh inning stretch they're going to assassinate the queen, so he's just calling everything a ball and like everybody's getting so mad. It's just like the first Naked Gun movie is seriously one of the funniest movies of all
is
time.
amazing. I love it.
And then he makes in 1998. He like take it looks like he kind of disappears for a while. He makes like a short in 93, and then he comes back in 1998. He gets a written by and a directed by credit on Basketball.
Oh, dude, another classic right there.
Yeah, it's another one where I'm interested to see if I would think it was as funny as I used to, but I feel like I would.
I think that one would hold up. Mostly because like Matt Stone and Trey Parker are like two of the funniest guys like on the planet.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, 2000, he directs a TV movie called HUD. I don't really know what that's all about.
Heard of that?
2003, this is another all-time classic. The Ashton Kutcher, Tara Reid, Andy Richter
Oh
vehicle,
God.
My Boss's Daughter.
You're gonna say no on that one, Jim.
Yeah, I think I saw this in theaters, honestly. I'm pretty sure I did.
I didn't see this in theaters, but I did see this. And it's not great.
Oh, I missed a pretty important written by credit too here, by the way.
He wrote? Okay. What is it?
1996 High School High.
I've actually never heard of that.
It's it's like I'm pretty sure it's a spoof of like high school movies.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, it's a spoof of films concerning idealistic teachers.
Right. And I just remember John Lovitz is in it.
Oh
And
yeah,
he's got
yeah.
like a big afro on the cover, which cracks me up.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's doing like making fun of movies like Lean on Me, The Substitute, High School Confidential, Dangerous Minds. Oh boy.
Yeah, because dude, those movies are
Always
really
going to the
silly.
well.
I don't know, when was the last time you saw Lean on Me?
I can tell you.
Dude, I rewatched it like maybe like a year ago, and it is a very silly movie. It is a
I
very
bet.
silly movie.
That's the one with Morgan Freeman, right?
Yeah, 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 where he
See?
plays like
Yeah,
the teacher
lean
who like
on
puts the
me.
locks on the doors.
Yeah. God.
And then I mean that's basically it. Directing, he does Scary Movie 3 and Scary Movie 4. And then also Scary Movie 5, he gets director for additional scenes and then uncredited. So I guess he just did like some work on Scary Movie 5, but he also got a written by credit on Scary Movie 5.
Poor bastard.
And then there's something in here, An American Carol. I've never
Never heard
heard
of
of that.
that. Never heard of that.
And that's really all I have for IMDb. I don't know that we need to dig too much deeper.
Well, listen, some good classics in the beginning, in the 70s and 80s, early 90s at points, and then then outside of Scary Movie 3, did some other stuff. So good for you, David Zucker. You'll always be a goat for The Naked Gun and Airplane. We salute you. And with that, we turn our attention over to our ratings.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the Ebert thing because it's like I like this movie, but I don't know that I can call it great. You
Not good
know,
enough.
like
Not good enough for the drop. All right,
I
so
think
we're
it's a great spoof movie, but I don't know if any spoof movie is really great.
really that
Like
great.
some of them just crack me up, but
Do you want to take a guess at what Mr. Roger Ebert had given Scary Movie 3?
I am gonna think that he did not like this. That is my prediction.
Yeah, he gave it 2 out of 4.
Okay, so yeah, he didn't like it, but he didn't hate it
He
nearly as
didn't
bad as
know as
Texas
much as you think.
Chainsaw.
Yeah. He said Scary Movie 3 understands the concept of a spoof, but not the concept of satire.
Oh.
Oof. Damning. He always just knows how to get right to the crux.
Yeah, Raj just he gets movies,
Yeah,
man. It's
Raj just
almost like he understands
that's
them.
why that's
And
why he
sees
was
a
the
lot of
king.
them.
That's why he was the king, man. All right, Jim, turn it over to you. Star rating, Scary Movie 3.
Uh I would give it like a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. Jim, I think this is the first time in a while that we're going to link up on our scores. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while we get there. I'm also going to give this 3 stars. It's still funny and enjoyable for the scenes that I love. And I can just, ignore the other ones.
By
So I
the
guess,
way, hold
yeah,
on.
yeah.
I clicked on An American Carol.
Oh God, do I even want to know?
It's a spoof movie, like spoofing Michael Moore movies.
Man, dude, he really just has one speed, David Zucker.
Yeah, but listen to this logline, dude. An anti-American filmmaker who's out to abolish the July 4th holiday is visited by 3 ghosts who try to change his perception of the country.
Oh, honestly, I kind of want to watch that. I'm not gonna lie.
Does that not sound amazing? It seriously sounds like, and I'm
That
pretty sure it's spoofing Michael Moore just based on the cover, because the
sounds about
cover
right.
of
I
the
mean,
movie, it's
that's
Abraham
kind of his
Lincoln
old bag.
and he's got a guy in his fists and it's a guy who's like really fat with like a hat on and he's got like a triple chin and he's got like a big sandwich
Yeah, that
and
sounds like
then in
Michael
his other
Moore.
hand he's holding like a camera.
Yeah, sounds like Michael Moore. All right,
I'm pretty sure they're making fun of Michael Moore.
that sounds about right. But all right, with a 3 from me and a 3 from you, it's gonna give us an overall score of 6. So we're gonna do battles. I don't think it's gonna be a particularly high battle. I think it's gonna go down right here in the first round, Jim. So do you take Scary Movie 3 or do you take The Mummy Returns?
The Mummy Returns
Yeah,
for sure.
like that's an easy one. That's definitely an easy one right there. All right, so Scary Movie 3 gonna slot in the number 33 spot. Behind The Mummy Returns is 6, but just ahead of Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, 5.5. So settling right in there. I think that is enough, though, to beat Scary Movie, which sits in the number 40 spot with a 5. So there we go. And managed to hop
Makes sense.
over a decent portion of movies over Scary Movie. But now we get to play everyone's favorite guessing game, Jim, because you did not get it in the box office. So I'll give you a hint. I think the hint might give it away, though, but we'll give it anyway. Our next movie is actually an animated movie.
An animated movie.
I can't wait to watch your face audibly groan as you discover which movie it is.
Oh God, just tell me what it is. I don't even want to talk about it. What is it?
So you didn't guess it in this week's, but you actually did say it in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's box office, if you can remember that far back.
Oh, was it Brother Bear?
Oh, Jim, we're watching Brother Bear.
Oh, dude, you totally no-sold Brother Bear. That's
I
cheating.
did. I know I did. I did a
You were
good
like, I
job
don't
with that
know. It's
one.
like some animated Disney movie, maybe. Oh, maybe.
Really sold that shit, huh? Yeah, we'll be diving into Brother Bear. Um, movie that I watched once in theaters and have never touched ever again. So it will be interesting to see how this one lines up in the pantheon of Disney animated films. During the era where Disney was really trying to refund its footing with animated movies. So we'll see where this one will lie. Um, yeah, I don't remember having any particular feelings about it. So it'll be fun to force you to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even tell you what it was. So, like, I definitely like animated movies from time to time. So, just fingers crossed, man. Let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
fingers hoping that it's more in the top of the line from the mid 2000s for Disney and less of the home on the range era of Disney movies. So we'll find out. Do you have any recommendations to leave the people with this week? Jamming up.
Uh, no, I do want to ask though, did you ever end up watching The Miracle Mile? We talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
So I actually did. I forgot to text you about it because I watched it late at night. And I was like, I'll text him tomorrow, and then I totally forgot. But I did watch it, and it was just as ridiculous and just as awesome as you had pitched it.
Right? Wasn't
Yeah.
it nuts?
It was great. And it was great to see Anthony Edwards from ER like be in a movie and like act as in something else than just pretending to be, the doctor on ER. And he had hair too, which also threw me for a hard loop. I was like, this guy's got a full head of hair. Like, no way. Very fun movie. I enjoyed it a lot. So that was a great recommendation. So thank you on that part.
Yeah, no problem. I saw it and I knew you would like it.
Yeah, yeah, no, that one was a classic. I enjoyed that one a lot. Um, I do have a good recommendation. I actually have a good recommendation this week. Last week, I threw out the Moana 2 gauntlet and kind of was very lukewarm on it. But I want to give you guys something out there that you could sink your teeth into. And I saw Gladiator 2. And that movie is as good as you could hope a sequel to Gladiator would be. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, very, very, very entertaining. Paul Mescal, an absolute star in the making. That dude is. And Denzel Washington gives probably the hammiest performance I've seen from him in a long time, and it is absolutely stellar.
Dude, I might want to go see it just because I know Denzel Washington is going to be starring as Hannibal in a movie coming up soon.
Really?
Like not the cannibal, but like the general.
Yeah, he's doing like the we were talking about that a while ago, right? You like wanted to write. We were talking when we were pitching movie
I
ideas.
had an idea for like something that could be like a Hannibal show or movie, yeah.
Yeah,
And then like I was like, oh, idea gone. Denzel
yeah,
Washington
she
making
knows what you
Hannibal.
making. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I
I'm
remember us
interested to
talking
see
about that
like because Gladiator is kind of in that
wheelhouse,
same realm, yeah.
kind of sword and sandally.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you should definitely check it out. It is very entertaining and a lot of fun. Which is definitely what I needed at the theater after like the last couple of releases of movies that have come out. So was a big win. So go check out Gladiator, people. And also the Miracle Mile if you haven't seen it. Right? It was Miracle Mile or Miracle Man? I already
Miracle
forget the
Mile,
fact.
yeah.
Miracle Mile.
Miracle
Yeah.
Mile.
Yeah. Go check that out too, people, if you haven't already from our last recommendation a few episodes. What are you doing? And join us next week when we dive into the animated classic that is Brother Bear. And as always, we'll see you at the movies.